Hello, people. Welcome to a live stream. This is a live stream where it's all sad. It's gonna be a sad one. It's gonna be so sad. It's gonna make you cry. It's gonna make you cry a lot. A lot. Okay, it's gonna make you cry and I yeah, it's gonna be extremely sad and so today today is September 11th, 2021. The day marks 20 years since the attack on America, the 9/11 attacks. September 11th, 2001. Oh no. People, all of us, all people, all of us remember where the hell we were that day. We all remember where the crap we were. We all do. For me, I wasn't born yet. But I knew about these attacks when I was in elementary, and it was sad. It was really sad for all of us. So, if so, what are those 9/11 attacks exactly? So, it was a great day. Like before 8:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time that 2001 day, people were just enjoying their day, going to school, and going to work, going about their daily lives, and making sure nothing goes wrong that day. But then 8:46 a.m. though, a plane hit the World Trade Center, the North Tower. A plane crashed into the Twin Towers, which were built in 1970. And people thought it was an accident. People thought it was an accident, like, oh, that's a terrible accident. I hope people are okay out there. However, however, and then, however, a few minutes later, another plane crashed into the South Tower. Another plane crashed into the South Tower, and that was 9:03 a.m. And that's when people started to realize, nope, this is not an accident. This is not a mistake. This is fucking on purpose. It's a terrorist thing. No shit, it wasn't a terrorist. People were screaming. They were freaking out. They were crying. New York was wow that day. Like bunch of first responders came to help when they sacrificed everything. And what's worse is that there's people in those towers. They had to make the tough decision to get burned alive or jump off. Seeing the people jump off the towers, oh, it really hits me hard. Oh my god. Oh my god. And then at 9:37 a.m., another plane crashed into the Pentagon, which started a fire. The Pentagon, which is in Washington, D.C. That was fucking horrible. And yeah, all airports closed that day. And then at 9:59 a.m., the South the South Tower, the World Trade Center collapsed. Um, the South Tower was gonna collapse. And then at 10:28 a.m., the North Tower collapsed. The North Tower collapsed, and the Twin Towers were no more. I mean, people love the Twin Towers in New York because the view up there, when you go to the view up there, is breathtaking. I did saw a commercial of the Twin Towers in the 1970s, late 70s, before they were gone. And then at 10:50 a.m., 5 stories of the part of the Pentagon collapsed. Not the entire Pentagon, partially. And then at 5:20 p.m., if you guys didn't know this, the 7 World Trade Center 47-story building collapses. The World Trade Center 7. Yeah, it did collapse. And then, just hours later, another plane crashed into Shanksville, Pennsylvania. The worst part about this, everybody died. Every single one of those people on the plane. They all died. And, it was the attack on America. And people, I mean, we all knew we were on that day. My mom was at her class at the time. Well, she was at her class at the time before, she was in her 40s at the time. I don't know, 40s. Yeah, for 40s, or I don't know. My mom was 38 at the time, or 37 at the time. My brother was 10 at the time. My mom did saw the attacks, yes. My brother, I think he did know about these attacks. Because, yeah, and then my grandma knew about it, my dad knew about it. We all knew about it while we were just at school, at work, or anywhere. Some of us knew about it days after the attack. It was sad. Nearly 3,000 people died. And who's behind this is one of those Al Qaeda people. Who, and what truly behind all this is, who was truly responsible for this was Osama bin Laden. Osama bin motherfucking Laden, and it took 10 years to finally kill that son of a bitch. And now we have the new World Trade Center. It's not the same as the Twin Towers. And we have the 9/11 Memorial in New York City. Yeah. never forget 9/11. Rest in peace, all those died. Every single TV station across the country and the world reported on this. I mean, even Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and other channels that don't broadcast news, they had to simulcast other news channels to break this news. Yeah. It was sad for all of us, and today was the anniversary and the 9/11 observance events. And it was so sad, and seeing those survivor stories, they're pretty, they're pretty moving, you know. I'm really glad they survived, but I feel sorry for them. 9/11 didn't. He changed America and changed the lives of families and all of us, and it was just so sad. And I hope we never have an event like this again. No, we do not want an event like this again. Yeah, I was moment of silence right there. And guys, do not even think do not even think about joking. Don't think about joking about 9/11 because that is fucking disrespectful, alright? Nobody must not joke about 9/11 because if you do, your ass is fucking banned. No 9/11 jokes. No 9/11 jokes. We don't fuck around when it comes to issues like these. When it comes to issues like these. Alright? This one is an extremely serious issue that has traumatized each every single one of us, and no, don't joke about it. Don't fucking joke about it. And yeah, Wolfworld is right. Don't even fucking joke about 9/11. Bush was president at the time. George W. Bush was president at the time. At the time, he was going to an elementary school, talking and reading with kids, until he heard about this attack, and he was upset, extremely upset. And his advisor said a second plane hit the World Trade Center, America's under attack, and yeah, that we went from there. I'm just glad that America is resilient. I know, yeah, I know. We recovered after the attack, and we made sure none of this will ever happen again. I am gonna be inviting people to the live stream. I'm gonna be inviting people to the live stream. Yeah, everybody knows that we will never forget. Even people across the world will never forget. And it's not just America that was sad about the attack. Other countries across the world, including Canada, United Kingdom, and other countries who are friends with America, they were saddened by this too. Every single one of us. Not just America, but across the world. Even NASA sent a picture of that. That was awful. Uh, yeah, I never knew about these attacks until I was in elementary. And yeah, condolences to all those who are deeply affected by the terrorist attacks. Single saddest day in American history. Yeah. I'm gonna be inviting people to the live stream so talk. We can talk about this, and then maybe later we'll move on to something that's. Well, actually, we're going to be talking about this throughout the entire stream. So, throughout the entire stream, it's going to be talking about 9/11. Unless if we do move on from it. But for right now, the subject at hand is 9/11. You guys want to join the stream? There it is. Join if you can. If not, alright. Hello.
Okay. think this is the first time you'll be seeing my face publicly on your stream, Emily.
Yeah, first time I've seen your face.
Yeah. Just like to take a moment to remember all those we've lost 20 old years ago.
Mm-hmm. Where were you on September 11th, 2001?
I wasn't even born in that year. I was born on June 20th, 2002, the very next year. So I heard about it over the years as I grew older, and now that I'm older, I can certainly see the tragic nature of it all.
Yeah, I mean, people, like, it's not just from America I knew about this, but outside America too. Like, you're from the United Kingdom. Yeah.
I reside in Scotland currently. Winchborough, it's a village my mum lives in now. She decided to move 2 years ago just to reconnect with her old self or something like that.
Okay.
As you can see, I'm currently holding off on my tasks until this day is over with, so we can spend as much time as possible to remember the fallen and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sure even those who weren't born in 2001 must surely remember how 9/11 affected us all in the world. It's truly the single most tragic day in the world's history.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Never mind America history. This is the single saddest day in the history of the world, the entire world. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
thought I'd make that a bit clear. Yeah. So, has anyone of your friends ever lost anyone to the terrorist attacks that day?
I'm not sure.
A friend of mine told me that this tragic historical event could have actually been avoided somewhat. I have no idea how.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
what's the stream going to be talking about? Of course.
Well, we did already talked about the 9/11 thing. Hello, Dawson.
Hey.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. And there's also the collapse of the Building 7.
Yeah, the World Trade Center.
7 World Trade
Towers.
Center.
The Twin Towers. Were
No,
absolutely
no,
demolished
no,
that
not
day.
oh, not the Twin Towers I was talking about. The 7 World Trade Center, the building.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. That did too collapse. I didn't know about it until September 11th, 2018.
Oh. 9/11 did take a lot more than we had initially thought, didn't it? Not just the Twin Towers, but the 7th World Trade Center as well. Shocking. Not sure if I've known about this until now.
Yeah.
Mad respect to the dead people.
What?
Mad respect to the dead people.
Alright. Mad respect. See? Mad respect. See?
Okay. I can't believe you're doing a live stream this early.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's early. Usually you do it late at night where I usually live.
Well, because I sometimes do streams late in the evening due to school hours, but when it comes to weekends or day offs or vacations, I usually do it in the afternoon or sometimes in the morning.
Oh, right. You have a good streaming schedule and
Man, if we had a time machine, would we stop the 9/11 attacks?
well, Family Guy episode Back to the Pilot. Lampshade did this kind of, where Brian stops the terrorists on the flight that was headed towards the World Trade Center in the
Mm-hmm.
news report. Season 10. I have the season 12 DVD and Family Guy actually. Look.
Well, I mean, I wish we had a time machine to stop the 9/11 attacks.
Oh, that would be if I was Doctor Who or something. My mum really loves Doctor Who. It'd be just like that one episode where Hitler is accidentally saved by Doctor Who. Doctor Who accidentally saves Adolf Hitler's life in one episode.
Hmm.
What is it? What's going on then?
Oh, Emily.
Just thinking about that.
Thinking about the attacks?
Yeah.
Maybe try not to think about them as much if it's causing you such disarray. Focus on more positive things.
I actually almost all the time mostly focus on negative stuff.
Oh. I try to focus more on the positive aspects of life. Although sometimes the negativity can seep into my head and cloud my judgment. Like what's been going on recently with my social media activities, but that's besides the point. This is about 9/11 after all.
Emily,
What?
how's your day at school yesterday?
It was,
Okay?
Yeah.
I guess, yesterday was 4 years since Hurricane Irma hit my state.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dan, you've had a pretty crap time at school recently, haven't you,
Uh-huh.
Yeah. To be honest, school really sucks in general. Oh, hey, Brandon.
He's
Hi.
muted. Oh,
Well, what's going on?
I
Ugh. If it cheers you up, Emily, I'm going to see Shrek for its 20th anniversary at the Odeon tomorrow. It should be quite fun. Yeah,
Okay, that's good to hear.
yeah.
And by the way, models or Adult Swim Enterprises Inc.
Hmm?
I wonder if you saw Looney Tunes Central Parodies episode 240. Spoiler alert, they tied the knot.
Yeah, I heard
And
those. Oh, yeah.
and in my universe, my Microsoft Sim, my Microsoft and I congratulate them, and Harry Donaldson is revived. So yeah, that was great to see.
Yeah. Can I be honest? Episode 240 was a real disappointment for me. I reacted to it with Para Warner Viacom the other night, and it really bummed me out how they foregoed an execution for the B gang in favour of throwing them into the infinite losers chamber in Punishland at the end.
Oh, you're talking
Real
about
cop out.
240?
What? Yeah,
You're
240.
talking about 240.
Yeah, a real cop out. That, and kind of expected for them to get the intro right at the end, as is the case with every other season finale of LT Parodies, formerly LT Bloopers. So yeah, 4 out of 10 for me. It was a real
Okay.
disappointment.
To
Especially
me,
since,
especially what?
especially since 239 got a 7 out of 10 for me. With its shocking conclusion. You were saying?
I did watch LT parodies too for myself, and it was it was still the same battling stuff and the little zappings and all that.
Yeah.
But Terry Donaldson, I'm glad he's okay, and the fact that Microsoft Sam and Microsoft Aaron, they got married. I'm so happy for you guys.
Yeah. I guess I should be happy for them, but I feel like Dave's been staying in his comfort zone a bit too much since he keeps giving us all the same shit every now and again. It's getting formulaic now.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm starting to grow out of Dave's content nowadays.
well, there is going to be a season 13 coming very, very, very soon. That's right, a season 13 is coming next year in January.
What do I need to know about this?
Right, you wouldn't care, so.
Well, I just hope Dave can give us something different next season, at least. Do something new for a change. Fingers crossed.
Well, you just gotta hope for the best and hopefully something new could happen.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
new
it.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, where Dave. I was thinking how Dave would transform to his hero form, including Tootie herself. I even asked Tootie if she had a hero form, and she wants to have the sailor form. No, the ones from Sailor Moon.
Yeah, that's the best we can do for now. Just hope that season 13 is a step up from season 12, which was kind of a mixed bag for me, especially with 230, which kind of led to a little incident recently, which I shall not get into right now.
Hmm.
But yeah, the season finale was a significant disappointment for me. Let's just leave it at that.
So, yeah, I'm gonna be. I think I'll be moving on from this 9/11 crap because it's too sad. I
Yeah.
mean, so. So, I'm just gonna be talking about what's, about Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues is turning 25
Yeah, and
this
Steve's
year,
back.
and the fact that Steve is back
Yee.
makes us happy. It makes us so happy. We missed you so much, Steve.
Yeah.
I want to cry happy.
I reckon it's been hell since he moved out for college. Yeah. Good to have you. Good to have you back, Steve. We've missed you all. We've all missed you. Haha. Huzzah.
I honestly thought Steve was dead. I thought he was dead.
Dead.
I thought Steve was dead. But I'm just glad he's alive and he pretty much remembered the Blue's Clues fan base. That was sweet of you.
Why would you think he was dead?
Oh, I thought he was. I thought he was until I saw the video that he's alive. Thank God.
Who would be stupid enough to spread rumors about his death like that? So just constantly to me.
So,
So the tapping. What's Brandon doing?
so what is Brandon doing? I wonder why he's muted. Brandon Sierra 2007.
I think he's private chatting.
Oh, chatting.
Oh, and by the way, at some point later today, I'll probably
everyone.
make the script. I'll probably make the script for
I'm
the
back.
returning series of Hunter x Hunter intro bloopers. Okay, Brandon.
Oh,
It's
He has
X, not
his-
C.
sorry, I accidentally pressed the leave button instead of the chat button.
Oh.
Brandon. Haha. There you are.
The 2F Studios logo bloopers is still going to be made. Oh, and guys, Microsoft Sam's voice is on UberDuck.
Oh yeah, I heard. Harold of Icon released a new video where the original Sam kicks the AI Sam out of his studio.
Oh, I thought it was an Andy Hull video.
Andy Hole.
Yes, Microsoft Sam Fan 2018, the YouTube lover.
That's a weird name.
He's my best friend.
Brandon says, I don't really feel like talking right now. Ah, right.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, guess what? Microsoft Sam's voice on UberDuck, he finally learned how to say soy and not swa.
Soy.
I typed in SO. I typed in SOI.
And he said the word swa.
It's soy. I know. Normally, it's Balabuka and another software that is not AI or some of that.
So
Oh, hang on.
What is it? Modern Life is Rubbish 2000?
I want to show you how he said it.
Okay, let me see. Let's see then.
Sway,
Okay.
Do you hear that, Emily?
yeah, I hear it.
sway,
So, soy. It's
Boy!
soy, you dick.
I typed in SOI.
Brainless.
What do you guys think?
Look at him. I can do this sound perfectly. Just like Sam. Ruffle, 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 ruffle. Oh,
They even typed in a comment on Andy Hull's video. The name of the video is Microsoft Sam meets his UberDuck counterpart.
okay then. I'll search it up. Okay, then Microsoft Sam. Microsoft Sam. Microsoft Sam. Microsoft Sam. Microsoft Sam.
Look.
Hey. Modern Life is Rubbish 2000. Do you mind showing your screen? So we can see what you're trying to show us, please. Oh, look at it. Listen.
well, apparently, there's a version of myself in you bird up on the eye. I wonder what he sounds like. Hello there, Alabama version of Microsoft Sam. I'm your bird up counterpart. What the fuck?
Yes. Emily got a screen share.
Okay, here.
I just realized that he doesn't say SWA. When I typed in SOI, he finally said it.
Oh, yeah. What's your shorter name, Modern Life, by the way?
What?
Your shorter name? So I can remember it next time?
I don't
Modern
know.
Life is Rubbish used to be those names. Nashville Cats,
Dude,
2000,
yes.
Nashville Cats, and the 2017 username that I forgot.
2017, I think it's Nashville Cats or Nashville Cats Guy, 2000.
Nashville Cats, dude, 2000, and then
You're into cats,
let's
Modern Life?
see, 28. For 2018, it was
I think Swamp Rabbits Bro.
Swamp Rabbits. Okay.
And then Solar Bears Boy.
Oh. Leo says hello.
Hey, Cosmic Leo.
Hello, Leo. Welcome to the live stream.
Alright. Who here is into cats?
I mostly like Pinguinos better. Because,
My mum-
yeah.
Oh, yeah? My mum's into cats herself. She has, I don't know, a dozen of them. And I
the
have gone
Nashville
out.
Cats name that I'm referring to, it's an arena football team
Oh,
where
yeah.
Cats is spelled with a K.
KATS.
Yeah,
National
it's
Cat.
the pronunciation.
National Cats.
Okay, you're up.
Nippity-scoopity. Okay. Hello, Cosmic Leo. How's it going? I forgive you, my son. I'm gonna switch through my computer because I'm on my phone and my phone is about to die. Ah,
Do you have a charger?
I'm very aware. I'm very aware of the attacks. You mentioned United Airlines Flight 93, and let's talk about that. That was a crucial part of that little attack. Do you mind if I explain them?
oh, United Airlines Flight 93. Oh my god.
Okay, go ahead, Leo.
Oh, greetings, JRW official. What brings you here?
Hi.
Oh, good to have you on the screen, JRW, sir. Oh, there we go.
Hello,
Hi,
Leo.
Cosmic Leo.
Welcome to the live stream.
I know. What do you want to explain to us?
So, United Airlines Flight 93, was it, Leo?
Yes, I do. I would like to talk about United Airlines Flight 93. 20 years ago, during the 9/11 attack, the free planes had hit their intended targets. The North and South Towers, the North, One World Trade Center, Two World Trade Center, and the Pentagon, also 7 World Trade Centers, also hit. Whether it was hit by a plane or a fire, we are still unaware of, but it was hit too. But their fourth plane involved in the attacks. It was originally supposed to hit Washington, D.C. Its intended targets were either the Capitol building or the White House. By this time, many people in New York and in Arlington, Virginia, where the Pentagon was headquartered, and they knew they were next. And so
The White House was
the
targeted?
crew and the passengers on the plane. Yes, the White House was originally targeted for this one attack. It was either the White House or the
Oh my
Capitol
God.
building, but whatever it was, whichever one it was, Flight 93 was intended to hit either of those buildings. But at this point, the crew and the passengers already knew that they were next, and they sprung into action. And they immediately went on a mission to try and take back control of the plane. Passengers fought with the terrorists, and they dive bombed in a field near Shanksville, the one Green Star mentioned. I can't help but try to summarize how this is important, because these people put their lives on the line. They were aware what was going to happen to them. And even though they were aware, they still fought because they recognized that this was something worth fighting for. Now, just imagine, it is a slightly alternate 9/11, not September 11, 2001. Flight 93 hits either of its intended targets. Now imagine America the next day. The Capitol building and the White House, both the World Trade Center and the Pentagon are hit in one day. Now, how would the American people take that day? It's already 9/11 is already a major tragedy, but Imagine the words "the White House has been hit" or "the Capitol building has been hit."
Oh,
There'd be a
oh
state
no.
of panic, honestly.
Oh my god.
People would just go ape shit all through the week. Well, it's not a month,
Now,
or even a year.
I also like to talk about a couple other things. 5 years after the attacks, the New Yorker wrote a small little story about an alternate universe in which 9/11 didn't happen, and the writer theorized what he thought may have happened. October 23rd would be the new one. In this universe, it's not September 11th. It's October 25th, and it's much to this writer. It's much worse than the attacks we ended up with. Which
Oh no.
I don't. How do I put it? I'm certain. Now, the idea is that it would have had many, many effects on the world. This is from the New York Magazine sometime in 2006. August 11th to be exact. The idea is on September 3 days. Apparently, the leaders of the world are just trying to figure out what's going on. Like not what's going on yet, just like the world is still there, but this isn't the part yet. The idea is that the political leaders of America are still doing what they were usually doing in 2001. And after September 11th, not much was happening. Then the scenario begins. 10:36 a.m., October 23rd, 2006. The world is attacked. Tel Aviv, Moscow, Washington, D.C., New York, and London. That's the alternate scenario.
Oh no.
Apparently, in this apparent scenario, and this is a scenario at the end of the day, is what one person theorized. Text messages sent from the subway cars in a few minutes before the gas. Ooh, wait a second! This happened 5 years after 9/11 was supposed to. In this alternate universe. Apparently, in this universe, subway stations are halted. People are trapped. It's basically the Blitz. It is basically the Blitz, and in this one, it is described as many things. The Blitz in reverse. Victoria Station looks horrible. Chaos in New York City. It's horrible. It's madness. The idea of this one is basically a combination of a hurricane and 9/11, but times 10. Now,
Oh my god.
I can't say thankfully, but at the end of the day, this is an alternate scenario. What one writer theorized is clearly not what would have happened. But the things about 9/11 that have been talked about are how the attack, or who was responsible. But the alternate scenarios are one thing. What people keep talking about to this day is who did it. The news has maintained that Osama bin Laden's network did it, and as soon as we recognized that, we sprang into action and looked for him for a good 10 years. Thankfully, America finally healed the day we killed bin Laden.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned about October. Leo, you mentioned about October 23rd,
October
2006.
23rd, Yeah, that's the alternate scenario. The scenario is in this world, instead of one city being attacked, it's 5 major cities in the world.
If it
In
were
the
to happen in
aftermath,
a
subway stations were destroyed. Little devices filled with hydrogen cyanide controlled by computers the size of iPods are set off and immediately turned subway stations, what used to be considered refuges during war, where if they attacked the upper levels, they could at least stay safe in the lower levels. One writer says Al Qaeda took in this alternate scenario, Al Qaeda took those places and turned them into mass tombs. The scenario is what would happen if 9/11 was theorized as what would happen. In my opinion, I feel like the right theorize this is what would happen if 9/11 happened later and on a much larger scale. What would be the severe consequences of that? I feel like people recognize that a terrorist attack people were theorizing before 9/11 a terrorist attack might have been coming. Famous conspiracy theorist Bill Cooper talked about these things 3 months before the attacks. But again, we're getting off topic. Back to who did it. Now, I understand the whole Bin Laden thing, but recent evidence has shown that that things are a lot more complicated as they seem. Things are a lot more complicated than they once seemed. Saudi nationalists were named as perpetrators. It's a lot harder of a mystery to figure out now. Many theorize it was some theorize it was Dick Cheney and George Bush. The government set off 9/11, but I don't buy it for a quick second. Yes, we've made many mistakes. The government's made many mistakes. Many mistakes. Don't. Now I'm not gonna lie. That's the truth. But this is too malicious. All right. Yes, the gas crisis in the 70s. That was a bit of the United States' fault. But that was the gas crisis. That was the gas crisis. That was New York City almost going into bankruptcy in that same decade. That was all the nuclear poison stationed in the Pacific. That's Ronald Reagan being an immediate threat to the presidency in terms of if the president's going to get reelected. That's all of that, all right? The government is screwed up, all right? In the 70s, the president nearly let New York City go into bankruptcy. But that was simply because he did not want to let the city. He didn't believe he had to do it. He didn't believe he would be ordered to do it. This is something else. The American government, no matter how bad it's perceived, would never do something like this. Even if the people in charge are considered by everybody just completely evil scumbags. The guys in charge would probably not do this. Emily, there's a lot tied with this day. And many things happened. Many things changed. Now, you used to be able to board a plane in like a couple of minutes. Now there's procedures to help keep us safe. Then again, there's also a lingering debate that those procedures are not as good as there's a lot of things that 9/11's created and in turn have been debated. 9/11's caused a lot of things. The TSA, the Department of Homeland Security, increased American military presence in the Middle East. These are all things that have been created by the American government in response to 9/11 and have been criticized heavily.
Yeah, and also you mentioned about
Today,
October
20.
23rd. Okay, sorry, Stalin, but you mentioned October 23rd, 2006. I'm looking up October 23rd, 2006, and what happened on the day that then Senator Barack Obama states that he is possibly
That was the
considered
alternate
running for
scenario. That was the
president.
alternate.
Running for president in 2008 and 2006, where Obama was like, I think I'm going to run for president. So that would happen on that real life day, October 23rd, 2006. I'm just glad that, that the fictional October 23rd, 2006 did not happen. Otherwise, it'll be extreme chaos to the
That's an
max.
alternate universe, but think about it. Think about it, Emily. Somewhere in this universal fabric of ours is a world where, in place of 9/11, there was October 23rd. It's not something we like to imagine, but in some cases where one bad thing does not happen, a much worse thing takes its place. There's an old saying: get rid of the Tsar, and you'll end up with something worse. I can't. Now, that's just the alternate scenario, mind you. Thankfully, we live in a world where this did not happen. Although, you did speak about presidential candidates, and this is something, and I'd like to talk for a bit about some of the people who have been given, given the forward to possibly run for president. Now, fair bit of warning: these candidates are crazy in a way, and some of them are just full on normal to nutty real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Who tried to run for president? The man who was a friend of extraterrestrials, a communist, a doctor and a transcendental meditator. These are just some. But I'd like to go over the really famous people who have run for the presidency. Like celebrities who have been asked. Like, I'd like to talk about them real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, these are some of the recent things. While they're not this isn't just for presidential office. This is for generally any office. Recently, Emily, there has been a certain campaign going on in Texas. George Abbott is not popular, and neither is Beto O'Rourke at the same time. And so, for the governor of Texas, some people, and this is beginning traction, mind you, some people want to make famous actor Matthew McConaughey the governor of Texas, which
Oh. They want to make.
I don't know why we would. Matthew McConaughey, the governor of Texas. Then again, I don't know. I mean, if Roseanne can run for the presidency, then quite frankly, anyone can run for the presidency. So,
even Kanye West himself.
Yeah, this is also the same universe in which Caitlyn Jenner is running on the Republican ticket for the California governorship. So yeah, we're clearly not hearing we're clearly not hearing the last of these ideas because they get more and more interesting. In fact, this was a couple months ago. Apparently, want to see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as president of the United States. It's that's it's a very interesting story. Certainly
Oh my god.
There was brief news that and Rudy Giuliani's son did announce a bid to try and run for governor, which I can't tell who's going to be more unpopular at this point because at the moment, New York now has two very unpopular people who have both either run for governor or were governor. Almost gone, but I don't know. I just don't think New York would want another Giuliani. Honey. I can't tell why, but I feel like all this talk is just kind of it's a bit too lighthearted for the day, but sometimes we need lighthearted breaks because we can't all because the topic we're talking about is quite a heavy one. So yeah, I do apologize if I do seem a bit offensive to some talking about wacky presidential bids on today of all days, but I feel like we should at the very least try it on. Actually, no, never mind. Then there's also Cynthia Nixon, who's trying to run for the governor of New York. If that name sounds familiar, that's because she was one of the stars on the famous HBO show Sex and the City. WWE star who got elected to mayor a town in Tennessee.
Okay.
Let's see. What else? I feel like there's more. I feel like there's a couple more in this one. I feel like the wackiest one I've heard so far. I feel like the wackiest story I've heard so. Oh no. Okay.
What?
Then. Great.
What happened?
Shaquille O'Neal, and then there's Shaquille O'Neal trying to run for the sheriff of Shaquille O'Neal did announce that he planned to run for sheriff of Atlanta in 2020, although he's bumped his plans for 2024. I don't know why, but I feel like Shaq. I can't tell why, but I feel like the idea of hearing the words Sheriff Shaquille O'Neal, I can't tell if I take that seriously or I would just laugh hysterically. I mean, it's Shaq. It's Shaq. Of course, then again, Schwarzenegger was governor, so if the Terminator can be the governor, then oh boy. Oh right, that's Eastwood. He managed to win the mayorship of his home Carmel, California. He won. And then, of course, after Clint Eastwood, there's, of course, one guy. You know who I'm speaking about when I mention this one guy. Now, normally I'd have prestige for this guy, seeing as he is a fellow comedian writer.
Mm-hmm.
However, I can't do it. I can't do it. Because I can't say this name anymore without feeling a little bit of disgust. The name Al Franken used to be so now it's just I can't say it. You know why I can't say the word Senator Al Franken without a little bit of disgust? I mean, there was both. I mean, prior to his allegations, he was tagged by a magazine as a possible presidential candidate. That's quite a serious. I mean, think about it. Let's say in an alternate universe, we hear the words, former head writer of Saturday Night Live and Minnesota Senator Al Franken is officially running for the presidency. And imagine if he while during his campaign, the allegations come out. Now imagine the words "funny man senator running for president" is revealed to be a horrible human being. Now, I don't know why, but all of that, I don't know. I feel like the already angry people from the last election would just snap at that news. Think about it. It's Al Franken of all people. He represented a generation of people who were just generally done with America and needed a general escape. For them, Al represented, how shall I put this? Probably a period where they could calm down, sit, and watch some television that broke the mold of television. And now, then he became a senator. And while people were like, oh, it's sad he's no longer doing comedy, but hey, at least he's still a good guy. And now this. Still, I feel like that would have broken the mold. But I think that's enough of my spiel. I've been going on about conspiracy theories involving who did 9/11, wacky presidential bids, and an alternate universe where, in place of 9/11, a much worse tragedy where people en masse are being pulled out of subway stations with horrifying injuries took place instead of 9/11 for evident, and the event happened in 2006, not 2001. I feel like I've talked about enough, so I'll hand the mic back up to Emily.
If it were to actually happen in real life, then I'd be extremely. If it were to happen in real life that year, then I'd be extremely upset.
Okay, so
Yeah, I think the word 1023 would automatically be. Yeah, those are not. Yeah, that's quite bad. It's not good.
Well, at least it didn't happen. At least it didn't happen. Yeah, I know. I mean, not a good universe to live in.
Yeah, it didn't happen in this universe.
Thank God, though, because what actually happened that day, that year, Obama was considering president.
Emily, all didn't happen in this universe because the idea of alternate universes is very possible and has already been given a good amount of thinking by scientists. There is an alternate universe where this event did happen. So while we can say that it didn't happen in this universe, that's not to say in another universe it didn't. Just think about it. There is a timeline where instead of 9/11, there was 10/23, 2006. Instead of 9/11, 2001, it was 10/23, 2006. All right, stand over. Pass the mic back.
Yeah, which I already have, and it's really sad. It's so sad about September 11, 2001. And I wasn't born at the time. So now
I
that
would be born for years.
So I've just looked up Mr.
Apologize for cutting you off.
Franken, and according to his Wikipedia page, he was accused of sexual misconduct back in 2017.
we were talking about.
He's talking about Al Franken. He's talking about Al Franken.
I just looked
The
him
original
up.
head writer of Saturday
Just
Night
now.
Live for about 5 years. Yeah, he was actually given real consideration to be the showrunner along with his partner Tom Davis. But after Franken after Frank made fun of the then president of NBC, the network running Saturday Night Live, Fred Silverman, about his various failures as president of the network, how do I put it? He was not only not given the job, but he was instead given a 2 weeks notice. And generally, the words 2 weeks notice to anyone who is employed usually sends them into inconsolable levels of fear.
Yeah, and
So yeah.
And according to the page, he is.
But that's another story But again, the story of Saturday Night Live's 1980 season is another story. Because that story is very long, very tragic, and it's quite.
And according to the page, he has acknowledged using cocaine and other illegal drugs while working in television, and stated that he stopped after John Belushi died of an overdose. See? There's a lot to learn about him on Wikipedia.
Yeah, that must have been quite a big role. That must have been quite a big role for Al to fill in. John was a beloved comedian.
Yeah.
He did things that were just considered taboo at the time. John was, in my opinion, one of the greatest comedians of all time.
Yeah. He was.
I mean,
He was the Blues Brothers.
You know that.
Yeah. Blues Brothers.
Yeah, I found correct. Brian Doyle Murray, during a memorial dedicated to Belushi on one episode of Saturday Night Live, described how John saved Brian from being hit by a truck. Apparently, he got hit and he went up in the air, he fell on his back, and later in a physical examination, nothing was wrong. I can't tell, but damn, you cannot say you cannot say that is a modern miracle. That is not a modern miracle. It is a miracle. Because if that happened to anybody else, I guarantee there'd at least be like 4 broken bones. So, I don't know. Belushi was lucky.
Yeah. And the Blues Brothers actually had a sequel in 1998 called Blues Brothers 2000, and it's on a rightful bashing by the nostalgia critic himself.
That was all. Yeah, nobody really liked the Blues Brothers 2000 for me. I mean, it's kind of disrespectful. I mean, but what John and Dan did was, well, untouchable. After they tried to get John Goodman to fill the role, but people just could not. You can't replace Belushi, man. You just can't replace Belushi. Furthermore, it was kind of just worse version of the original. Nothing after all. Nothing could really beat the original. Anyways, I figure seeing as we're already on the Saturday Night Live thread, I might as well tell the full story of Saturday Night Live. So it's Lorne Michaels, executive producer of Saturday Night Live, has finally had enough. He's tired of meddling for the network. He is exhausted from having to produce the show on a weekly basis, and he wants to pursue other projects. He is trying to get deals in so that NBC can either pass the role on, so that in order to give him a break, the show would go on a year's hiatus so that it could come back reformed and better, or at the very least, his right-hand men, Al Franken and Tom, and then to over the show. Negotiations going well until Franken had to open his big fat world to hear. Now, if I'm correct, he nailed, and I do mean he nailed Silverman. He nailed the network for giving him door-to-door limo service because he could not get a single success in for NBC. I mean, aside from Different Strokes and The Fact, and maybe a couple of those, the shows that Silverman brought into the network were consistent failures. there was Super Train. There was Super Train. Basically, the love boat on rails. A very expensive. Imagine a very expensive, very time consuming.
What I'm watching right now is Sand ASMR videos on IG. But go ahead. Leo? Leo? Huh? Berta? Is everyone here?
But this wouldn't be the only time he bring in a massive flop. Then there was Lady and Jeff, where NBC tried to create a variety show with a Japanese pop duo. Pink Lady, the two women representing Pink Lady, you know, that one Japanese pop band from the 80s, you know. And Jeff Altman, a very unknown comedian. Now, if you can guess how big of a flop this was, you win absolutely nothing of importance. It was a big flop, needless to say. And once again, Silverman could not get his way. Now, Franken saw all these constant flops, what with Super Train and Pink Lady and Jeff and the Waverly Wonders starring Joe Namath. You get the point. He noticed how the network was really in a shitty position. And even though everybody was laughing, even future President Brandon Tartikoff was in the audience, and so was Dick Ebersol, previously the head of late night programming at the network. Both of those big guys were laughing. They were just laughing hysterically. Guess who wasn't laughing? Silverman was not happy, to put it mildly. Silverman was furious. And following this, he immediately assumed that Michaels was done negotiating. And it immediately Now, if words could be Saturday, it's the words that Al Franken used after the whole fiasco ended. I'm using these words sparingly. Al said, and I quote, "No English-speaking person could do a worse job producing Saturday Night Live than Jean." So you get an idea of how bad she was at this. Now, it's gone a very different way. Saturday Night Live, a young new performers, and I quote, included a young Jim Carrey, a young John Goodman, and a young Paul Reubens. That's right, I repeat, young Jim Carrey, a young John Goodman, and a young pre-Pee Wee Herman Paul Reubens. Didn't get the job. Instead, Saturday Night Live's 6th season, they got the following. Now, yes, a couple of these names both sound very familiar, so please note a couple of these names will sound familiar to you. Charles Rocket, Ann Rizzi, Denny Dillon, Gail Mathias, Joe Piscopo, and Gilbert Gottfried. That last name will be quite familiar to anybody who pays attention. Now, who do you think they got to try and eventually take the job of
Hmm? What? What?
if you guessed a classical guitar composer, you're surprisingly right because they got Mason Williams to be the head writer. Now, while he did do music, he also wrote for the Smothers Brothers back in the 60s. And Gene must have gotten in her head that if he wrote for a comedy show, he can clearly do Saturday Night Live. You see, the problem with this, however, is she forgot one thing. 60s humor isn't 80s humor. That's a lesson anybody should take within their time. If they don't write for this decade, why would you put them in charge of the biggest late night comedy show on television? Despite this, Williams was put in charge. The show premiered on November 15th, 1980, and would end up being a flop for damn near the entire. However, there was one. It was this season. It was on the second episode that a little-known comic went on the show and begged, and I do mean begged, the man responsible for new hires at the time to put him on the show. Gene didn't really want him. She already had Rob Townsend considered for the role as like and I quote, the black cast member. That's not my words. Those are Gene DeManey's actual words. You note. But they gave him a try. Then the very next week, they gave him Weekend Update, like a segment on Weekend Update. Guess who he got the most laughs of the night? Guess who the featured player here? That's right, it was this unknown comic. Now you might be wondering, why have I, withheld his name all this time? Well, I'm about to reveal his name, but when I do reveal this, speaking of, was Eddie Murphy. Yes, the Eddie Murphy. And it was his presence on Saturday Night Live that single-handedly helped. But he didn't really matter. I mean, think about it. This was a time when Saturday Night Live attempted and failed to conquer many things. They made many poor jokes in the case. If you really want to see these jokes, I suggest you watch this one guys, first, I highly suggest you watch an episode of 13 Week Theater where he goes on Death Denying. And all this came to a head on the 21st of February of 1981. You see, Dallas star Charlie Tilton was the host, and seeing as this was one of the stars, they did. Let's try making fun of who shy.
Okay, hate to cut you right there, but Albert, there's someone in the live chat, Alvin Mitchell, he's saying shut the fuck up. What for?
With an assassination attempt on cast member Charles Rocket. And if I'm correct, they ended the show something that broke the line. And you mean it broke the line. You might have heard of stepped over the line. He broke the line. Charles said the F word on national television. Just absolutely pouring in by next week, even though Bill Murray was scheduled to try and go take over and try to, help salvage this ship that was clearly destined to have a grand sink. Even Bill couldn't do it because Dick Ebersol at this point, who couldn't even and got some. Wasn't Al Franken, but he wasn't Gene, so fair balance. So it was at this point that, if I'm correct, these the guys at Saturday Night had a couple of months. The show was retooled. Chevy Chase hosted an episode, and the cast, including Tim Kasurinsky, and so the SCTV cast. Originally, there was supposed to be Catherine O'Hara, but arguments with the new head writer, the original head writer. No, not Al Franken, the original. Before Al Franken, there was Michael O'Donoghue. But yeah, basically, they had fights. Robin came in to replace her, and this. And eventually, the show bounced back.
Okay.
And now, you might be thinking, wow, that was a disaster. How did anybody on the show? Well, Piscopo and Murray were the only ones not fired, and they carried the show. Gilbert, and if you heard me say the name Gilbert, that's very fine. He bounced back from this event not too long after. Charles would later go on to have a good acting career. He did play some villains, but generally he did not. His
Yeah, I mean, Saturday Night Live we were talking about. I don't watch Saturday.
I don't know. Maybe even the crew bounced back. Before I end the story, there is one last part of the story. Dick made one last fire up. And guess who she fired from the cast and crew?
Who?
Wrong, it's the person you least expected. Dick fired the legendary announcer for SNL, the original one, Don Pardo. Don was fired from SNL. And he managed to make the final connection to the original era away from the show for a good couple of seasons, because, quite frankly, I think Dick sort of realized that, hey, it was probably... So... For everybody. Even Gene somehow got... That's still unbelievable.
I don't watch Saturday Night Live.
I'll go on to start and jumpstart many careers.
Alvin Mitchell said, "Shut the fuck up." What do you want to shut the fuck up about? I don't know what the crap you're talking about, Alvin, but nah.
Well, Alvin, that was quite rude. You didn't deserve that.
Multi Albert.
That wasn't asked for. That was not called for.
So now that now. So what about the writing process of the Green Star Disney Pictures local bloopers? I'm still working on it, all by myself. Here's why it's slow, because I can't seem to come up with any ideas for the show. I'm all by myself, writing the show, and the series wasn't scripted at first. And so I'm going to be talking about, well, let's just talk about the fact that we already talked about the 9/11 thingy. Now I'm going to be talking about, let's see here. I mean, I don't know what to say except, well, the fall equinox is coming very soon. Summer is coming to an end. The season of summer. And it's going to be cooler weather. So, Leo, did you watch LT Parodies 240? Leo? I was talking, like, Leo's gone. Leo left. Oh. Cameron, I literally cannot understand what you're saying.
Can Brandon hear us now?
Okay. Hi, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon.
Okay, Leo's back. So, Leo, I was,
Internet was speaking.
So, Leo, did you watch
Yeah.
240 of LT Parodies?
Well, I've watched.
So, I've been going live for an hour now, and, I, so, I miss live streaming on my main channel. Hmm. So, why am I hearing this Shock Me song? This Shock Me song from Japan from the 80s?
I'll just ask you this.
So,
What?
not that Shock Me song from Kiss.
I'm sorry. Oh, come on, something. Was it because of 5 minute days video that all the positives will be delivered to the Google Martin, for peer review? This makes this also a step from them formally established with his videos. Which suddenly just be a thing now, it's just kind of jarring to me. It's because those in Christian.
Cameron, I cannot hear you.
As I was saying, why is it in Dave's recent video it's suddenly become a requirement for all apologies to be delivered to the Lord God Almighty and Juno for due process? This doesn't really make sense to me, since it was never formally established in his previous videos and all that.
Hmm.
First, first it was LT Parodies 224, then Diving Friends 6, then SP Parody 22, and now LT Parody 236. And let's not forget LT Parody 218, LT Bloopers 218 as well. I think that's 5 times they've done it. 5 whole times. It's ridiculous. Might be because Dave's a Christian or something. I'm not Christian, obviously. But of course I believe in God, but I'm not hardcore Christian.
Hmm.
I just don't think his Christian beliefs should be forced upon me, though. At least that's what I think he's doing. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I suppose he means well. I won't cheer him out for that. He has good intentions, you know. He's just trying to entertain. Yeah. So, after over a decade of these things, I'm surprised he hasn't gotten sick of it now.
Hmm.
Gotten sick. You know, this has been hell of a, one hell of a stream tonight.
Ah,
Logo Boy won't talk because of the 9/11 attack, so he's going to keep typing now.
okay.
And Leo's just going to use the live chat now since his internet can't really handle phone streaming. My internet's just fine. I to upgrade to super fast fibre optic broadband as soon as I reach 3 years on my Sky VIP membership. Yes, it's a membership tier system. If you're a long-lasting member of Sky TV and all that. Speaking of which, the streaming service Peacock by Comcast is coming to Sky Q later this year. I have no idea when, but I'll be looking forward to trying it out and maybe check out a few episodes of Saturday Night Live to get the full context of what Leo is talking about, really.
Yeah. Okay. The stream, I think I'm gonna end it right here because I don't know what to talk about, and besides, I'm still upset about today and yesterday. Well, actually, not that upset. Well, actually, I am still upset. Okay,